let me take you through the PowerPoint. We did this with my guys.
Okay.
We were failing, were we not? I have failures all the time I'm working on. We were failing. We were getting 0 on oil changes. But when I work the counter and when you work the counter, tell me how much you can make on oil changes. Yeah. Does that look like me? These guys are idiots at the counter. I could sell that guy a new set of, I could sell his wife a new set of pants before she leaves.
Yeah, he's leaving with all kinds of stuff.
These guys
he's leaving with a joke and a big receipt.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so what I did, let's do the oil change.
Okay.
The oil change. Because why do we do oil changes?
Sorry.
No, as a shop owner. Why?
A visitors.
Yeah, you're not doing it to make money. No. If you're doing it to make money, I didn't figure out how you're doing it.
Yeah.
We're not doing it to make money. Okay. Why and how we make it happen. Why do we do it? Reason number 1 is this lady, she just left, here's the story. She just left Jiffy Lube, her ball joint disconnected. They didn't do an inspection. Boom, there she is. Now the problem is that lady's your mom. You mad at Jiffy Lube?
Yeah.
She just left, her ball joint came out.
Why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't you tell me? Why do we do it? Okay.
That's right.
Why do we? I'm giving you the quick version.
Sure, go ahead. I'm with you.
Okay. Does your mom ever get under her car? Do you expect her to get under her car?
No.
Who do you expect to get under her car?
Wherever she's getting her car serviced.
Bingo, bango.
That's right.
Neither do we. We don't expect people to get under their cars either. So that's why they came to us, because we're getting under their car for them. Now, can you make a profit on your mom?
No.
Yeah.
I don't make on my
My mom's one of my customers. Okay.
Really? You charge mom?
Yeah. Can you make a profit on your mom? The answer is yes. And how would you do it? If you were to charge, if your mom came to the shop, maybe you were just a shop manager and you couldn't cut her a discount.
Right.
What would you do for your mom's vehicle?
I would expect it.
Okay. Would you do the oil change?
I would do an oil change.
Okay. And what would you do underneath it?
I would expect it.
If she needed a wheel bearing, what would you do about it?
I would let her know she did.
Okay, and if you couldn't give her any discounts at the shop, but she needed a wheel bearing,
what
would you do? You would sell her a wheel bearing with the labor, and you would do a good job.
Absolutely.
Would you do an alignment on it if you needed it?
Absolutely.
Yes. But people get caught in the trap.
Mom, just not mom neither, but we would do it with anybody. You should. With anybody.
That's the point. So why do you do it? So absolutely. In 2017, my mom came to the shop. She got an oil change. She said, "Look over everything. I'm going to Phoenix." I teach this to my guys so that they can see. They don't know who my mom is at that location, but I teach it to everybody this way. She came. She said, "Look over everything for me." We didn't have a standardized inspection form at that point. So look over everything for me. I was like, "You bet, ma'am. No problem. We always look it over." The front guy says. What does the guy in the shop do? Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, he didn't care. So then she left. She gets down to Phoenix. The battery terminal melts apart. You know the long terminals with the new cars that got the plastic cover?
I know what you're talking about.
It was corroded and it finally came disconnected. So it was a no start. She had to tow it to a local shop. She had to get the battery fixed. Cost her $780. I could have charged her for that terminal and sold her a new battery, and everything would have been cheaper and better, and she would have happily received it. And that was my mom. So now how do we take every car and treat it like that? So, okay, that's the why. Why reason number 2 is for the profit of the business. We're a for-profit business. We operate a needs-based industry. Cars need to be serviced and repaired, and we want to do it. We want to do it, not the guy down the street. We want to do it. For every car that's on this lot, we make sure the customer has the option to fix it right, just like your mom. Would you give your mom the option to fix it right?
Absolutely.
If the wheel bearing was bad, what would you do?
I would change the wheel.
You would not let her leave without getting changed. You cannot go down the street like this. Let me show it to you. Let me show you this. Right? Okay. 2 avenues for proper maintenance. Service-based intervals, the manufacturer specifies, and all the inspection items on the vehicle. Those are the 2 paths to repairing it. What does the vehicle call for the manufacturer, and what things are bad on it right based on inspection. All customers need access to both of those so they can make an accurate decision. Should your mom have access to the information she has a bad wheel bearing? Yes, so every customer should. It's just easier if it's your mom because it puts you in the right mindset. Would you sell your mom something she didn't need?
No.
There you go. So it answers both questions. Can you make profit on her? Heck yeah. Would you sell her something she doesn't need? Oh, absolutely not. Why would I do that?
I'll sell anybody.
Okay. So then I implemented a process. So this is the process. Let's see if we can see it bigger. So to make it easier, on check-in, and this is all right here in Hoops, I can show them, because you're on Hoops, I can now show you how that works. On press-in, you have check-in, you have 0 to 5 minutes to pre-sell everything you're going to sell, and I'll give you that script in a minute. And do the drive-in DVI, meaning they start with the dash pictures and they get it all checked in. You get 5 minutes. From minute 5 to 10, I've got a stager, because there's 4 bays he's staging for. He gets the car prepped so that he's starting the underhood inspection, because the bay may not be open, so he's moving the vehicle immediately. If you showed up somewhere and they moved your car within 5 minutes, what would you think?
That's it.
Dang.
I know about car movement. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's old school, man.
These fellers are on top of it,
Yeah,
right?
that's old school. Move that car.
Move that car.
Yep.
Yep.
Do not
let
it. Forth the waiting room. Yeah. You move my car. Yeah.
Then,
They moved it.
then,
It even relaxes. Double sit down.
Yeah.
You moved it from here to there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's part of the training
Right.
here.
I like
Move the car, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to stage it. He starts the underhood inspection. This is the inspection line. This is all the inspections that's happening. He starts doing all of his top side. Fluids, battery, tires, belts, hoses, brake fluid, coolant. Boom. First step. So I even built this into tabs, so to teach him this. Tab 1 is check-in. Boom. Are any of these lights on? Take a picture if they are. What is it? That's the guy at the counter. And that goes right along with these steps. Second tab, underhood. Underhood is 4 tires, belts, hoses, wipers, battery, coolant, brake, cabin air. Boom. He does that. That might have been in the bay. That might not have been in the bay. Car comes into the bay now. They start the undercar. Rear shocks, I start from the rear. Rear shocks, rear brakes, front shocks, driveline, CVs, U-joints, tie rod ends, wheel bearings, ball joints, leaks. Done. 22 minutes at that moment. So they bring the car in, they lift it. At minute 22, we're talking to the customer. 22 from when the keys got handed to you, the clock starts. 22 minutes, fellas, that's all you get, the magic 22. You talk to them in 22 minutes, you're gonna sell it. You talk to them in 42 minutes, they're gonna put you in the headlock and say, give me my keys, I wanna leave.
I've been here for 42 minutes.
22 minutes, you gotta get to them. At the moment, you got air filters in hand, you got cabin air filters in hand, and you have all of this. So if we put all these details in, they open it on their front counter screen. Now, you sell something, so, okay, a couple different avenues happen. They go to the customer, the tech is out there finishing. We've passed off all the goodies. The tech is still finishing the oil change. He's got another 9 minutes now to complete draining, filter, fill the fluid on top. That's all he's got left, basically, okay? While we're selling to the customer. Now, at minute 22, you walk inside, your mom needs the wheel bearing and an air filter. She's like, they moved my car in 3 minutes. She's already impressed.
Yeah.
It's been in the bay, and you're already telling her we found all this. You're basically done at that moment because you're having a conversation. You might talk to her for 9 minutes while they're finishing the rest, which means that almost feels as if you're done. Does that make sense? Because now you're entertaining her. Okay? Hey, we got this cabin air. We got this wheel bearing. This is what needs to be done. And she's like, yeah, let's go ahead and get it done. Now you're off the clock. On an oil change, you're on the clock. You're on the hot clock.
Yeah.
Now you're on the slow clock. Hey, great. We're going to need that till the end of the day. The wheel bearing is in stock. It's going to be $464. We'll do the alignment after we put the wheel bearing in too, because we just got to make sure it's driving right for you. Can I give you a ride home? Can I give you a courtesy car? What do we need to do? Oh, I'll call for a ride. Move that car, order the parts, you're on the slow clock. Get the next 22.
It's all knowing that.
Get the next 22 minute in there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's all knowing that, absolutely.
And I can see your experience from the industry. You're already shaking your head at all these things. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
All that's right. It's customer psychology. It's systems. It's psychology with your text. You're giving them a deadline. It's 22 minutes. You got to be right here back with me.
I like it. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, the magic 22. The moment when the customer moves from confident to annoyed. That's the moment. The 22 minute mark. They move from confident because you've moved the car, they see you doing good stuff. Hey, we got this, and this is a problem. They're like, well, yeah, I'm sure you know what you're talking about because you've been killing it the whole time. I've been watching you. You know what I mean? Sales are more likely in this window. Annoyed means confident. Annoyed, no confidence. No confidence means I'm not buying anything from this place. I don't want another minute in this place. You get me out of here right now. You blame them? You do the same thing.
Absolutely.
If you were somewhere and though you may not be an expert in that industry, by the time you've been sitting at the dentist office too long, you're not like, do these guys even know what they're doing?
And they got a mental clock in their head.
If we can't keep the industry's simplest service on track, the industry's simplest service, why should we be trusted to replace the rack and pinion, U-joints, brakes? If you can't keep it on track in 22 minutes, why should they trust you to do anything else? That's the industry's simplest service. Confidence is fluid. You're either gaining it or losing it. So you got to get to them before, it's fluid. Confidence is fluid. So you got to get to them before they're losing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're either gaining it or losing it, but them sitting around is losing it.
You know, if you've done it long enough, you know already, hey, we done maxed out.
This is the written procedure that the tech has to follow. So that was the chart. This is the procedure he follows. Tech gets the vehicle. So this is check-in. They write the work order. They repeat all the services back to the customers. They pre-sell the inspection. I forgot to tell you about that. Pre-sell the inspection. So at the sales counter, this is the script. JJ, dude, you're back with your vehicle again. Good to see you. If I knew you were a repeat customer and I knew this is going to be a different process than you've seen before, hey, we've got the Delta oil change we're working on now, dude. You hold me to it. In 22 minutes, we're going to be back with you, talking to you about the inspection items that we see on your vehicle, because we want to make sure you understand what's going on underneath there. And we're going to tell you the service-based items you need to have done. Here's the service-based items. Why don't you look them over based on mileage, why don't you look them over while we're inspecting it and doing the oil change? We'll get back together at minute 22. We're going to talk about everything that needs to go on with your vehicle. Saying that before we start on the work makes it totally different when I come back and say, dude, what'd you figure out on those? Pretty interesting, right? You're only at 30,000, so nothing's due, but here at 50,000, these things are going to come due. So we'll work on those for you. Want to let you know, air filter's disgusting. Here's a picture of it. Oh yeah, change that thing, man. Get that out of that car, change it for me, right? That's what he's going to say. You're going to say, hey, look, you do have this strange problem happening. You got nasty wear on your inside, the inside of your tires all the way down to the cords. You only got 30,000. You got an alignment problem. Do you want to leave this thing with me for a couple hours and let me get you the details of what's going on there? Yeah, dude, look, do you mind if I look at it? Yeah, come out here to the bay. Let's look at, see this crap? Yeah, let me know what it needs. You're now on the slow clock. Does that make sense? But the pre-sale is important. Hey, want to make sure you know we're going to look this thing over today. So I'm going to come get you at minute 22. We're going to talk about it. Average sell rate we're hitting is 60%. We're hitting 0 before. Why were we hitting 0? We weren't swinging. We're at 0 at bats. 60%. We're getting an average of 72 per. Average profit quoted per car, 480. I call it putting it out into the ethos. We're putting 480 out. That, oh man, I'll come next paycheck. I think 10% of those end up coming in. So we're putting out 12 $480 quotes a day. Once a day in the future, they roll back in because they're basically at a 1/12, a 10% rate. So for every 12 we put out, we're getting 1 back. So profit from 1 oil change, for profit from 12 oil changes, $984. $984 a day.
That's pretty impressive. A day?
Yep, $984 a day. Him is my witness. So we implemented it. I just did the whole procedure myself. Does that make sense? I checked him in. I did the oil change. I showed him. I went and sold it to the customer. I showed him. I was 100% for a whole day, 3 to 4 in a row. I mean, because just like you would be. So then you teach the guys to do that. You say, hey, look. So Drew's building a button. The biggest problem I have right now is the follow through to tracking this 984. So he's building me a button right here. So let's say we sell that person what are we going to sell them? Their rear brakes. Their rear brakes are junk. So we add the rear brakes here. He's adding a button right here to say this item came from the inspection. So boop, boop, boop. Then I can run a report and say, show me every item from inspections that we sold, not from customer request, but from inspection. What order is it through? I hate the word upsell, but it would be show me all my upsell items. because we're not upselling. We're showing them what your upsell is like. Hey, they make an extra sticker for these shoes that changes it from white to orange. Do you want that? That's an upsell. Your car's broken is not an upsell.
I agree with that.
That is a maintenance item.
You're absolutely.
An upsell is, hey, we're putting a lift kit on your truck. Let's get you some wheels and tires. That's an upsell.
I agree.
But a maintenance item is, hey, this is what needs to be done to fix your car correctly, just like if it was your mom's car. There's the funnel. So intake and pre-sale, you do your inspections. Some of them don't need anything. You do your sales. Some of them don't agree to it. But we're getting 7 people out of 12 to agree to $72 worth of profit.
7 out of 12. That's a good number. Yes, sir.
So you said, okay, I understand the number. Show me. That's what I did in the last 2 weeks. I need to get all of them to instructions like that, where one, they have a slideshow like that they can go over with their people, and then there's a video of me explaining the slideshow and why. I mean, you understood emotionally all the different feelings I was talking about. Move that car.
The biggest thing.
Get to them in 22 minutes.
What you're sitting on is the biggest thing is you're right, because it's guys like me that you'll be talking to, so they understand that part. They get in there.
But you have to make it so easy for them to implement.
Absolutely.
You need to make the implementation way easier, because that's what I see your holdup is like, okay, you've got these multiple locations, and I actually see that some of them, I mean, what I observe outside looking in, I actually think some of the locations need to be closed. Do I think you should close them? No. But you have multiple locations, and so now you're juggling 5 places, and you can't get stuff implemented because really you're just firefighting all day. So it's hard to get the time to implement something like this and to make it follow through, because you're kind of firefighting. Oh, let me run over here. These guys got this problem. Okay, I'm gonna go. This guy didn't show up for work, right? You're doing those problems. That's not making you any more profit. Filling in for the guy that didn't show up for work, or these guys got a problem with their lift, that doesn't make any more profit. That's called maintenance.
Yeah.
That's not helping you make any more money. So like, the calculator makes sense. The pin thing makes sense. Write me a $34,000 check. Oh, that hurts. Yes, and so the changes are going to hurt, and they're going to be hard for like 6 weeks. But what's harder, writing that $34,000 check to me every month, or making the changes? Well, I want to make the changes, then I don't want to write you the $34,000 check every month. Okay, I can always just say, hey, look, my oil change guy's at this location. You need to be here an hour early. We're going to go over oil change training. And then I'm going to work with you for 3 hours to make sure we're hitting our 22-minute mark. Like if I said, hey, JJ, you're a store manager. Man, you guys are pretty low on your alignment sales. We need to bring that up. Quantify low. Quantify up. You're selling 30% per ticket. You're selling $500 a month. Is that low? Is that high? Is that less? Not enough? All of the stores, I've built a culture of everybody knowing what the standard of excellence is, and setting goals for the store, and then showing where they're at for the standard of excellence, and we review those monthly. I want to be able to, I need a live dashboard for all my items so that we're not reviewing it monthly. They can see it daily, and it'll shrink the feedback loop for them to give them confidence to say like, okay, I know I can fix the thing that I fell short on today. I can fix it by tomorrow. But how many of your guys know how many alignments they should sell a month? Do they know? How many should they?
I think we should be averaging, and even in a small market store, at least 5 alignments.
Well, what if they're only selling 2 sets of tires a day? But the other shop's doing 10 tires a day. Which one should do 5? Well, 5's high for one, but low for another. Yeah, change the volume of the tires. That's why everything I do is based off percentages. So like the oil changes, it's not that you should make $900 a day on oil changes. That's not what it is.
No.
80 per. 80 per is the standard, because that labor in the shop, the $80 on top of that labor you're already paying, that's effectively better. You need 80 per, not 900 more, because they can't get to 900. So now you've put a standard. They're never even going to come close. They'll stop looking at it. They have to fail. A standard has to be like this. They come up and they bump it. They go past it and they fail. And they're like, I know why I failed. I bump it. They come across it until they start to averagely do the standard. But if it's out of reach and they never bump it, oh man, we killed it today. I know how we killed it. I can do that again. then they never reproduce coming to that standard because they can't reach it. If it's too low, then they never even see it. They're like, that standard's stupid. I'm constantly up here. Standards need to come and they need to bump up against them until they can start giving closer to that line. Then when they do, you make sure they make more money and they get rewarded for it, and you move the standard up and they say there's more money and more rewards at this standard. And if they get close to it again, you say there's more money and more reward at this piece. But video, I want to start working on the video pieces.
Yeah. Good.
And say, like literally give them to you. Say, okay, look, try this one. Tell me how this does for oil changes.
Okay.
And say, track this in the system,
Sure.
hit the buttons, mark that it came from an oil change, and you can get in and see the profit difference.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to have to write me a $34,000 check.
Cash till Tuesday. It's good stuff.